Share my screen. Okay. We're about to be. All right. You guys ready? I'm going to go live in about 30 seconds. We do. It's in the updated thing. Yeah. If you guys want, hop in, do like maybe Eddie, you do the first portfolio review or two, and then let's switch gears into something else. Or you guys, hop off if you need. You shouldn't. Oh, you can hear me. My bad. All right, so we should be switching over. All right, how is everybody going? Everybody doing today? We are live here with the Unfold team, and let me just make sure. Let's see. We are good. Okay. Let me know, guys, if you see any issue. My window to the side is a little bit funny here. But we are live here again with the Unfold crew. We're going to be doing some portfolio reviews. So we had a couple hundred submissions for portfolios over the last couple of weeks, and we're going to jump right back into that today and go through the links that you all submitted and take a look at the work that you have and let you know some thoughts. So come join us in chat. Let us know where you guys are tuning in from, what you've been up to, what you're doing this weekend, And with that, I see some familiar faces. We've got normally, I think I saw Quasar in the past. Thank you guys for tuning in again. And maybe we'll kick it off over to Eddie. If you want to share your screen again, Ed, we'll pull up a couple of those sites we were just peeking at, and let's do some reviews.
Yeah. Hey guys, how's everyone doing? Let's see what we got here. All right. Everyone, do you guys see my screen? Everything's good?
Yep. I think we got you. Although, oh, here, this is what it is. I've got a little display capture. Okay, now we should be good. Let me get a few more things off the side of the screen. Make that a little bit bigger. We're golden.
All right. Well, we're gonna start off with Grace S, and let's fire it up. All right. Looks like Grace is a illustrator, and she does these crafty. Oh, is this Grace's? I thought it was.
Yeah,
It
this is
reminds me.
Grace's.
Oh, oh like it reminds me of Nick Slater, which is I'm a big fan of his.
Yeah, she said front shot from Nick Slater's masterpiece.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. So yeah, looks like very unique style here happening. Very crafty and like I like the hand drawn feel here on all these illustrations. Let's take a look. Looks like Grace is a sister in Christ, which is pretty cool. Um, very neat presentation here. Like I like the how these things come in. There's like a little subtle um, animation. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Makes you feel like aged. Like I guess that's the style you were going for, and looks like it worked out pretty well here.
I think something cool here that I notice with designers, especially illustrators starting off, but she's got a really good use of texture, and kind of mastering the texturing of illustrations is something that's so important to take what without is just a plain flat graphic and it doesn't seem all that interesting. Learning how to texture things properly really takes those things to the next level. And it's amazing to see like the before and after. If you were to just remove that, how bland something might feel, but with good texturing, like really takes it to that next step.
Yeah, and there's a lot of like imperfections and shapes, like which is really cool. Like it feels really organic, I guess, in a way.
Hmm.
And the use of textures is really cool. Like how she's trying to using these different colors of noise to kind of shape things and
Yeah.
treat. Yeah, really cool. And also like the I guess the brushes are also like feel a little like edges don't look perfect, which is
Hmm. But if you go back to that shot of the well, like the roof and even the interior of the
mm-hmm,
well, like all that depth is just created with the shading and the textures.
mm-hmm,
Water. We also
really neat. And was like it looks like this book was printed, unless it's a mock-up, which looks pretty realistic. Really cool stuff.
Yeah.
It's nice that you show the process. Like love seeing this kind of stuff.
Yeah, and I like that the sketches are like super simple. Just to kind of try to pass the concept, try to get the concept going. They're not
Hmm.
super detailed.
yeah, it's how you always tell me, Ed. The sketches don't gotta be pretty, man. They just gotta get the point
Yeah,
across, you
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things I stress to people. At least this is how I operate. Like
Yeah,
this is the kind of sketches you want to start with, and then once you have like a few of those, then you can narrow them down, work on more detailed stuff.
It's cool.
But really cool. Uh-huh.
I was poking around one of the files for the project you and Stian are doing right now, and like looking at the illustrations, the one that ended up getting used from the sketches is the most chicken scratch sketch out of the bunch. There's a bunch of others that are like basically vectorized sketches. They're so clean and refined, but it was
Uh-huh.
the one that looked like the dirtiest that ended up getting approved in the concept. Like it doesn't need to be pretty. It just
Mm-hmm.
needs to get the
Exactly.
point across and like share where you're going with it.
Yeah, this one looks feels unique. I don't think I've seen this style. You don't see this very often.
Yeah, I love that off-white color.
Uh-huh. And this is super solid work.
Yeah, the work is amazing.
Love it, yeah.
What's cool is you can see some similarity in the pieces, but I feel like there's a lot of illustrative styles. Like this would be somebody that you could come and hire and they have more range. It's not like, oh, you're hiring this illustrator and they only design in this one specific style. So like if it's outside of that, they're not the right fit. I feel like this is somebody that can adapt really well to different types of projects.
Yeah, for sure.
Loving the composition of these, like very unique, you know.
Hmm.
It's cool. It's you know, I've said it before in previous streams, you know, it's nice to see something that's unique, you know, like you could tell that she has created her own kind of style. And you know, you could see different, you know, styles like popular, you know, I see some grain textures in there, but she's using it in such a unique way. And you
Mhm.
know, she's creating her own, and that's why that's what makes her portfolios stand out is it's so unique, and it's, you know, it's her, it's
Yeah.
graceful illustrations, it's not anybody else, you know.
I love that mirror shot right there, right in the front. The second project.
Uh-huh.
Like it's just it's cool. It is unique, and yeah, there's a lot of range. The biker compared to that one. I don't know if she worked with Nick on that project or something, but it's just cool to see the variety here, and it's all strong.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, cool. Well, maybe if there's another project in here you want to take a peek at, otherwise let's pull up another designer.
Yeah, I mean, this is really solid work, yeah, and everything looks super unique and beautiful. Love the. I think every one of them has this something special about it. Like, I love this, like, how you treat this, or if you're watching these different masks and shapes, like how things come out of them. Like, it's really
Yeah.
neat. See an illustration.
Hmm.
Definitely catches.
Yeah, the J and the cross. It's cool. It's a lot more memorable than if it was just the full scene, you know?
Uh-huh. I think I'm gonna stare a little longer after the meeting, but let's move on to the next one.
Cool.
Do we wanna
Um,
go from here?
yeah, maybe grab Diego right underneath. It was right
Uh,
underneath Grace, under senior.
oh, okay. Yeah, let's do
Diego.
Diego. Okay, Diego is another illustrator, or I guess more than illustration. He's got some logos, apps, websites. Looks like he's kind of like me. He likes to do different things. Yeah, I mean, let's take a look at some of these projects. I don't know which one you guys want to pull up.
Well, I would say maybe like one of my general critiques, and I feel like a broken record because we say this a lot of times, but like there's some projects here, like the top two rows to me are really, really strong. And so I would love to see more work along those lines as we go down. And I don't know how old some of these shots might be, but I don't feel like they hold up to the same level of quality. So I would probably recommend pulling some of those out. I don't know if they're older shots or, you know, some exploration stuff. But when we get into like the pumpkin or, you know, some of these badges, they're good, but it feels like kind of all over. The top image is like if I saw more work in those styles or of that level, it would feel like your whole portfolio was stronger. So you know maybe jumping into some of these newer ones, Eddie, and giving some feedback if there's anything different that you'd recommend or things to look out for. But these seem like the strongest ones for sure.
Yeah, I would agree. There's a pretty wide variety of things. You got animations, apps, but yeah, if you were, I guess if you were to look for any type, like if you were to plan more illustration projects, you probably want to kind of filter out some of this stuff, or you want to go off to websites. This looks pretty neat. I like the color palette here. they used in the lights and how you treated the shadows on this illustration. It does give me a little headache to looking at it.
I think more just with the animation. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I want. It's a lot of. Not sure what the reason is here, but it looks like it was used somewhere. Oh, you're just pulling up the image, showing an example. You can probably use it as a attachment here
Yeah.
in the shots if you want to show your reference.
It'd be cool to do like rather I don't get the quick switch of the colors, but do like a process animation. It'd be really fun if you did this in like Procreate or something to see a time lapse of how this got built. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, even if you traced it, like it would be nice to see that how you applied those lines, how you like found
Yeah.
your highlights. And,
What's cool with this though, as irrelevant to this particular project, but based on the design hour episode we did with you, Eddie, and you walking us through like how you reference a photo for lighting and whatnot, I feel like after having learned that from you before, I can see how they got to this solution here, especially seeing the reference photo. Like it makes a lot more sense to me in how this is put together. And that's where I think it'd be really cool to see a process shot of where you know came from and how this was built out. It would be really cool.
mhm.
Well, awesome. Let's pull up another shot or two, and then we'll pull up another profile.
Look at some website UI
Yeah.
work. Yeah, it, I mean this is oh, I guess that was the Dan Patty's space challenge, which a lot of I think even our designers participated in. Looks pretty cool. Like,
Maybe click the attachment right there on the bottom right to get it bigger. Yep. Okay.
it looks like it's like a booking page
Mhm.
or
Yeah,
good
it's a pretty cool
composition
concept.
overall. Yeah, I feel like the images could be like you could have probably come up with some other maybe treatment or it looks kind of generic, just like them 2 lane here randomly. Maybe
Yeah,
you
maybe
have some
showing a
sort.
rocket too, or some sort of transportation. Like how would you travel,
Yeah,
to these places?
yeah, maybe some sort of alignment. Also, like I always when I design things, I like to um like having snapping on. So like maybe I would align some of these images to the bottoms or something, like make it a little more interesting. Cleaner, but overall looks really good. I'd say. Not see what else you have. Some sort of app. Pretty clean and professional, I'd say. I mean, overall, not bad. I think illustration is probably your stronger side, I'd say. Unless, what do you guys think?
No, I agree.
Yeah, this
I
is
think it's
excellent.
like, yeah. I think it's like we've said before, especially in your portfolio, kind of try and focus on one thing, and that one thing should be where you want to get leads. Do you want to get UI leads? Do you want to get website leads? Or do you want to get illustration leads? It all depends on what you like doing. And from what I can see from your portfolio, it looks like you're a talented illustrator. And so I'd probably say, focus more on that. Focus on, creating a nice portfolio of these cool illustrations so you can get more leads in that
Hmm.
realm. Although your UI and web work is pretty nice, I think your illustrations are much stronger. So I would definitely encourage you to try and push that more and expand your portfolio with that.
Yeah. And I think furthering your presentation a little bit, like going back to that gorilla um, image, like that thing's excellent. I would love to see it as like a sports jersey or something like that. But I mean, this is cool, but it would really draw people in further if you kind of like mocked it up on the side of a helmet or whatever you're building this for. just think about that presentation aspect. What is that, like a panda angry soccer ball or something off to the right? Like, you know, show it in use case somewhere in situation and see what that would do. But the work here, the vector work on this is amazing.
Yeah, definitely show more illustrations here. Yeah, and it looks like this was posted 7 years ago. So
Timeless.
keep sharing, yeah. Keep like, let's see, 2020. Yeah, 2018. Looks like you're not sharing very much. One shot per year, which is probably not enough if you want to grow and like get more eyes on your work.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
keep sharing more process, more like Peter said, more maybe work on the presentation a little, some mock-ups or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, it's like
Well, cool.
very
Well,
good.
let's pull up maybe one or two more. Stian, you want to run through any? I know you guys have to hop off and jump back
I've
into
sort of
something.
been honed in on a project we got to finish.
All right.
You mind going through the rest, Eddie? Sorry, gotta get it done.
Yeah, Eddie, why don't you take us through one more, and then if you guys want to jump out and dive back into stuff.
Do you want to pull up another senior?
Maybe let's do a junior. Let's help out somebody newer.
Yeah, okay.
I think down at the
So
bottom.
Samuel Slavichev. Did we already look at Samuel's work or no?
Maybe. Let's pull it up and we'll see. We might not have
Oh
marked
yeah, I
it.
remember this.
Okay. Yeah. So let's mark this one as done, and let's pull up the next.
Okay, we got Hassam Mara.
This one looks new. Let's jump in. Yeah.
Yeah, let's see what's happening. It looks like Hassam is a UI and UX designer or something. So he's got, looks like he's sharing the scope. Very cool to see this kind of stuff like wireframe and where you coming from. Maybe I would create some sort of like hero image or some kind of presentation to kind of show people where it's gonna go, just to grab their attention, versus like starting with like a plain old document spreadsheet and just showing them how you got to your solution. So you have your sitemap, wireframes. Yeah, it would be cool to take a closer look in the free time here. We got mock-ups, looks like some branding happening here, and then it's switching over to the actual UI. Different screen. Overall looks really good. It looks pretty modern, like the styles, and I like this guy. He's
I
pretty
knew you were
good
gonna
at stuff.
mention that.
I think you
Yeah.
could probably punch up the colors a little bit in this. Like
don't know
you've
if
got a
it's
lot of
faded.
great imagery, but that blue color is kind of faded and feels a little older and dated.
The background color?
Yeah, but like where they're using it in like the
Yeah,
buttons and stuff like
buttons,
that. Yeah.
yeah, I feel like they feel a little washed up. Feels kind of LinkedIn 5 years ago.
Yeah. But I mean that like this is the good kind of feedback where it's like, hey, these little tweaks are gonna push it another 5 or 10%. Like it's something small and subtle.
Yeah, unless these are their brand colors that you can't touch, but
hmm
it looks like you did come up with a palette. Maybe there's could be another like accent color because these are all blue and grays.
Yeah, there's a lot of grays too. You could probably simplify that color palette because that would be really difficult to manage long term. Because like I couldn't tell you really the difference between like D1, D1, D6 versus the C7. Like they're so close to each other, just eliminate one and it becomes a lot easier to have a team manage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I add
Another.
one thing?
Nope.
Yeah.
Sorry, since you asked me to review. The one thing you taught me, Eddie, you kind of pushed me to do a lot is have an accent color. So you could probably like add orange or something to kind of spice it up.
Ooh, it's Tion.
There you go.
Solution
And if you
orange.
go down a little bit,
Yeah.
it might be the scale, but the UI looks very small. But that might just be because we're seeing it zoomed out. So maybe
Mhm.
scale things up a little bit. But again, I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah. Another thing is like these drop shadows. I don't know if they're needed here, but they make it feel a little dated too. Like the presentation, maybe also like if you're gonna put these tiny labels, maybe build some space, let them breathe a little.
Hmm.
Overall, the
Yeah,
UI works.
yeah.
UI screens and like styles look pretty sharp and interesting use of like these different elements here and there.
Yeah. Well, cool. Let's maybe check out one more project from him, and then we'll jump into something else.
Sure.
Ooh, illustrations,
Looks
nice.
like some sort of landing page.
No,
Marketing
I
now.
think these are stock illustrations because these look really familiar.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if I've seen them before, but if I haven't, then I've seen something very similar to this.
Yeah.
And even if you recreated these, I mean, the palette looks really nice. The style, the people are different. Interesting heads, like these shapes are, I don't know, they look interesting, yeah. There's a lot of swooshes and blobs, which is, your standard way of like, like that's being used a lot everywhere. It's very trendy, I guess.
Yeah, I'd love to see more like intentionality with this. I feel like maybe because it looks a little generic in some of those, or maybe um, the images don't totally go with the messaging. Like I don't know what I'm looking at. I don't feel like I'm really walking through a live site. Um, it's not bad by any means, but I don't feel like if I was scanning through this, I wouldn't have kept my attention. You know what I mean? It's not like achieving the marketing goals of the site. It doesn't look bad by any means, but I think having maybe more contrast between stuff too, like things that really punch out at you, grab your attention. It just feels like I'm just scanning top to bottom, but it's not like flowing me through any kind of messaging or storyline here.
Yeah, and
I
also
agree.
like if you look at you have a lot of blobs, round shapes, and then all your other shapes are kind of like hard. So maybe try to round the corners on some of the graphics. Might help create more consistency.
Mhm. I think part of it is the blobs carry so much visual weight along with the illustrations. I almost like didn't read any of the text because I was just like my eye kept going illustration to blob. And I think that's why if I hadn't have stopped and said, "Oh, this is a marketing website," I don't know that I would have gathered that because I kind of skipped over all the actual content.
Yeah. Easier in the blobs.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, I know you guys got to get going, so we'll let you guys jump into some stuff. If you are in chat and want to have us do your portfolio live here on the stream, drop a link in chat and we'll pull it up here. And in the meantime, we will. Well, that one looks really good.
Yeah.
Maybe David, you want to pull up a couple of links on your end, and we'll have you screen share next.
Yeah, sure. All right. Oh, Eddie, can you stop sharing?
I got it.
Yeah.
All right. Let me pull it up here. Okay. Let me know when you guys see my screen.
We gotcha.
All right. I guess let's go. I guess let's do one more junior and then we'll work our way up here. So
Yeah.
let's do this one. Jean Haas. All right. So it looks like this is a dribble page. All right. So looking at a few of the latest shots, looks like 4 of them are from the same project. Looks really cool. I like that pattern, that texture going on. Kind of has like this aluminum feel to it.
Yeah.
But let me just quickly scroll through the whole thing, kind of see what the general vibe is. Looks like some e-commerce stuff happening, a lot of web stuff, some logo, lots of branding here as well. Some branding process on the bottom. Yeah, feels good overall. Like I feel like you got a good you're kind of sticking to 2 things. You know, you got some branding and some web stuff happening other than a few of these latest shots. But yeah, I guess let's open a few of these up.
While you
See
do,
if
I,
we
I
can show
noticed
more.
overall the work is really strong. You know, as you guys might hear us sometimes say, hey, focus on less things or, you know, put your best foot forward. If you do a couple of things really, really well, then show that. You know, I think all of these projects all look really nice. So it doesn't feel like there's any projects in here that are kind of like pulling down the average quality of your portfolio. So it's nice to see that yes, there's branding, there's web, there's you know maybe a little illustration, but it all looks really strong. So it's nice to see that variety then.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like it all kind of complements each other. Like
Mhm.
it's not very different from each other. So
It's very unified in
yeah.
a way. I really love like the way he presents stuff. Like, for example, like that owl. Man, I love that.
Hmm.
Like he could have just shown the logo and anything, but he shows the logo. There's cool mock-up with it, and I don't know, it really makes the
This one.
work stand
Yeah.
out. Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that so much.
Yeah, yeah. And I like how that leaf kind of connects the
Yeah,
two. It's not just like 2 separate
there's
shots.
yeah, it seems like there's it's everything's intentional. Like
Hmm.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like
Yeah.
the can mock-ups.
Yeah,
It's
same.
hard to make those not look super cheesy and like fake. And you know, doing anything that ever has like that shine or kind of aluminum is really tricky. And these look really clean.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a unique style. It almost feels like this like metallic, some sort of
Yeah.
like metal kind of texture happening. So it's definitely cool.
I love that the one with the kid peeking out there too. Like again, it's
Hmm.
just
Yeah.
the logo by itself is fine, but it adds a personality that I get a sense of what the brand might be, and I think that's really
And
cool.
here's that connection again
Yes.
that we
Yeah.
saw in the previous shot.
Yeah. So he's
So
not
that's
just
a
like taking
good
this
touch.
photo. Yeah, he's not just taking this photo and just, like
Yeah.
he's blending the logo and the photography together,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of pulling an element out of the photo. Same with
Well,
this one.
if you go to maybe just like the popular page here on Dribble David, maybe we can
Yep.
pull it up and see. But like, I guarantee somebody's going to be doing that, and that seems to be very popular in the presentation of things right now. Where I'm trying to look for one where like, you know how they pull an element of the UI like
Oh yeah, yeah,
out
yeah.
of the page and it breaks the frame, but
Yep. When you need it, you can't find it.
right?
Yeah.
Where's all the tilted angles today? Where'd they go?
Okay, well, yeah, it looks like maybe the trend's over.
Let's go
Maybe
to
it's
our page.
over.
Evan just did one, just so we show what we're
Yeah, yeah.
talking about.
Yeah, let me go over there.
I'm so grateful they brought that team thing back. It was so tough to have to go like dig for
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Like this,
Um,
right?
no, so Evan's right there, where like he's got
Yeah.
Mackenzie's
Yep.
image like popping
Popping
out
out.
of the frame.
Yep. I
Yeah,
think we
it's
had a
just
few previous ones. Yeah, here we go. Here's a shot. Grabbing just elements, popping them out.
yep,
Definitely helps the
Rough.
presentation. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Take something that could be a little
Yeah, this
bland,
one,
like a web
yeah.
page. Yeah.
This one is more of a 3D level, but similar kind of approach. You know,
mhm,
instead of just showing this, kind of all in one SKU, your Eddie took these elements and just kind of built them out, kind of staggered them, and like things coming out of the page. So it's kind of interesting.
yeah. Well, cool. Well, let's jump into another portfolio then.
Yep. All
Is that guy
right.
a junior designer?
Hold on, let me check them off the list here. Check. Yep. All right, Victor. Did we do this guy? Victor Kiprop, if I pronounce it right.
Ooh.
Okay, this, yeah, I don't think I've seen this.
Hey, I'm gonna let you guys run here for a minute. My folks
Yep.
are stopping by from out of
Yeah.
town, so I'm gonna go wave to them from the porch because I haven't seen them in like 3 weeks.
Go for
So
it.
I'll be right back. You guys keep jamming.
6 foot, 6 feet,
Yeah.
Peter. All right, so yeah, this is really cool. I mean, one thing off the bat, what I like here, Victor, is that you're kind of keeping this like you're good at illustration, obviously, and you're kind of sticking to your guns. You're not going too far or still experimenting with different mediums, but you're kind of staying within the illustration world, and there's a lot of variety here, a lot of different styles, a lot of good stuff. Um, Maybe Vic, you can kind of, or
Yeah.
anyone else on the team can fill
Yeah.
in a
Well,
little.
one thing I noticed from
Like
you
this one.
scrolling, like, you know your colors, like,
So cool.
very good use of colors everywhere. There's good contrast, and
Mhm.
I feel like all the colors really work together in each piece. I don't know. I really like it a lot.
Yeah, and the texture. I know we talked about
Yes.
texture earlier.
Yes.
There's a lot of texture
And
on
like you
some
were
of these.
saying, he kind of found a style, and he's running with it, and he's making it his, and he's kind of, like putting
Yeah, I like
his.
and I like that they're not all the same because
Yeah.
like whenever I see an illustrator with the same exact style every time,
Mhm.
I feel like
Yeah.
it's cool. You found your style, but you're kind of boxed into that style, which is if that's your thing, that's fine. But I do enjoy if I follow somebody, I do enjoy seeing a variety. So like if you
Yes.
see
Yeah.
this, you kind of have like like you got these lines, and I mean that's a pretty unique style. I don't think
Yeah.
I've
It's
seen
like,
anything
yeah,
like this.
it's
So it's
super
kind of
neat.
cool, right? Yeah. And then at the same time you have something really like this,
Yes, this has like
where
more
it's
of a composition. Like
yeah.
the tree branches are breaking it up, and it's, but
Hmm.
you could still tell that it's coming from him, based on the way he's using his colors
Yep.
and textures and stuff. So you found a nice blend, I feel like.
Yeah,
um
and it looks like if you go back, you see other
yeah.
other kind of phases, of styles. So it's pretty cool. I think it's good overall work.
Yeah, so I mean, I think overall, like, just keep it up. Like, you're doing a good job. Your page pops, like from the second I
Hmm.
saw it. Like, it's really nice.
Yeah, awesome. All right, let's move on to the next one.
Good job, Victor.
Talking to yourself.
Man, I guess
We got two
Victors
victors
and
here.
illustrators, huh?
All right, I think Grace we did already.
Yes, Diego. Did we?
I think we
Yeah,
reviewed
I think we
his.
did. Yeah.
Let's double check that real quick. Yep.
Yep.
All right, so Alexander
Alexander
Skachov.
Skachkov.
Oh, Skachkov. There we go. All right,
Right.
so this is his Behance portfolio. So off the bat, these are very eye-catching. A lot of these, very talented. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
different styles of work too.
Looks like his illustration is his strong suite from the start.
Yeah, and these are just cover images. So let's
Yeah.
jump into three different ones. I feel like
Yeah.
this one, this one, and this one feel very different.
Yes.
So let's just quickly go through some of these. Oh wow, this is
Yeah.
crazy.
Whoa.
Yeah,
That's like out of a kid's book or something.
yeah, this is amazing.
Wow.
This is great. I don't think I have anything to critique here. I mean, this is just
Yeah.
you don't
It's
see this
like,
kind of
yeah.
stuff on Dribble much either. So
Yeah.
it's interesting. Yeah, it's like a
Yeah.
different,
It's more like drawy, like drawing, not like
yeah.
vector
Oh,
kind of
these are cute.
smooth. Yeah.
I like this one.
It's
Very unique
cool.
here on the right.
Yeah, you definitely know what you're doing when it comes to illustrating, for sure.
All right, so now let's see some digital illustrations here
Yes.
from you, Alex. Yeah, very cool. Isometric grid here going on. I feel like I think a lot of it is like feels like um I wouldn't say it's super unique, something familiar,
Mhm.
which is, good and bad. I think playing, and I know this for one client, but yeah, I think let's see when it was posted. That would be a good Show the date. Okay, so it was pretty recent.
2020. Oh wow, this
Yeah.
was this year. Yeah. Yeah, with isometric, it's always hard to kind
Yeah,
of
it's always tricky.
find
Yep.
find something to do unique because it's such a specific style and
Mhm.
like it's in my opinion, it can be overdone.
I feel like it feels a little flat, some of the things here.
Mhm.
So like if you look at the people's feet, they're all kind of the same, and their legs and their pants and their hair.
Yeah,
There's not much depth to the overall illustration.
Mhm.
So maybe
one-
they're clearing on some of that.
I think
What's
one
up,
thing
Evan?
that you can do to make them unique is just playing with like scale. Like right now, you kind of got everything, like the composition on all of them is about the same.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've got a little bit more contrast in the sizes of the different elements you use, I think that could help break it up and just make it feel a little more. Yeah, like that thing that feels a lot more
Yeah.
unique. And
Well, I'm wondering what that is because
the
I feel
logo,
like it
yeah, I
doesn't
don't
belong
know.
there.
Yeah,
yeah,
it
I
might
feel
be the
like
logo
yeah,
for the brand.
Yeah, it might be. Yeah. So I feel like the logo doesn't mix well with the style of the illustration either,
yeah.
color and style. So maybe meshing those
yeah.
a little better.
Try and find a better way to implement that logo into the illustrations.
Yep.
I mean, it's not
All right.
terrible, it's really nice. It's just,
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
it needs
Definitely.
some yeah.
All right, this one I'm not sure what this is. Looks like some sort of branding for an autumn winter lookbook. Okay, so it's like a portfolio
Okay.
or a brand. Looks like it. All right, I'm getting like a kind of almost like a magazine vibe,
Mhm.
like a flyer, fashion. What else?
Looks like a little kid's clothing line
This
lookbook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clothing line. I think it's more the clothing line.
Yeah, like this is cool. I like the colors here, and it was very nice. I almost feel like this is custom photography. I wonder if that's what this is.
Yeah, I wonder.
Probably a real thing.
Because-
Yeah.
Yeah, because this, like, look at that backdrop. It's perfect. Like it's
Mhm.
it's a studio shot. So
Yeah.
yeah, I like that kind of blending these elements in with photography in the background. Really cool. Yeah, I guess I'd have to know where this was used. It'd be nice to know that information on this page. Kind of see the application. If it's a magazine, then I think it would be more clear headpieces. Yeah, so I think my only feedback is just to understand what is this? Like, what is this in reference to? Would be good. All right, cool. Yeah, let's move on to the next guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, but
I like
overall,
it.
good job.
You're an awesome
I'll
illustrator. Keep it up.
yeah, dude, these are awesome. Reminds me
Yeah,
of
a lot of good
Mike's Creative Mints.
Hey,
Oh yeah, yep.
David,
Hey,
Yeah.
if you want to jump to the mid level, is it Kajan is in chat and was asking if we want to check his out. I think it's that fourth one from the top.
Kajan Miss. I'm sorry, I don't want to butcher your name. Yeah, let's do
KM,
it.
how about that?
Yeah, KM.
Is that an M?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so this is your personal website. So this is already like, I feel like when I see a personal website, I feel like it's already more professional and more thought through, and the effort is there a little more. Even though he might have a Dribble, a Behance, but something about personal sites, it just feels good. All right, so it looks like there's brand identities, packaging, branding. All right, so a lot of branding happening here. It looks like you're showcasing 4 on the homepage. So
Mhm.
I always like to start with the first one because that's the best one. Usually you want to show your best work up front, right?
I like how you're showing real stuff like right away. Like
Yeah, this is awesome.
it's like the brand is legit. Like it's there. It's
I
physically.
mean, this is what mock-ups
yeah.
need to look like. Can we make mock-ups like this somehow?
I know, right?
I mean, even I mean, that's cool. That's something to think about. Okay, so now we're going into the brand. Really cool animation.
Very smooth. Wow.
Yeah, very smooth. Love that. Yeah. What do they do here? I'm not
That's
sure
what I
what
was
they
wondering.
do. Look up.
It's an AI-powered graphic design platform that guides
Designing
you
a custom brand identity. Okay, so is that what I'm understanding? Yeah.
Logo, business card, signage, website.
So
Feel
he
like
did a
I'm-
branding for a company that does branding.
Nice.
I got confused there though, because it was like Looka, but then Logo Joy. I get it now, but
Oh,
like
okay.
it didn't
So they
didn't
changed the
really
name to-
convey that change. Yeah.
Definitely, you cleaned it up a lot. Like it definitely looks more modern and more just
Hey, go back up. I
stronger.
love that animation. Like that's the kind of stuff
Yeah.
that makes
Yeah,
it like
this is-
really feel refined.
That's really
Yeah.
cool. Man, we gotta do some of that right there. If we don't animate our our
Yeah.
buildy thingies, whatever they're called. I can't think of it right
Grid
now.
construction logo.
Yeah, there you go.
logo
The construction, like animating the construction. Wow, that's so sick.
Yeah. Hmm.
Oh, okay. And that's always great, and showing what the logo means, you know, because I feel like sometimes people design logos and it just looks cool, and there's no meaning behind it. But being able to see like, okay, there's intentionality behind this logo. You know, it means something.
Yeah.
That's really awesome to see.
Luca cool.
Luca, cool.
Luca's cool.
To what you were saying, Vic, like it's so important. We just did a brand presentation yesterday with a client, and one of the marks that they ended up really liking, they're like, yeah, we first saw it and it was fine. And then once they saw it in application, the meaning and reasoning behind it, all the usages, that's where it went from being a logo to a brand and like really started to sell them on what this was going to be. So it's super important to show this stuff, not just in your portfolio, but like while you're presenting to clients in order to convey what it is you're trying to show and get that sale and sign off. And even this stuff right here in the UI where it's like, hey, we're taking the brand mark or a part of it, and that's what's creating the frame and cutout for the imagery and everything. Everything is done with intention and purpose now.
This is a very long case study.
It's and it's just filled with he's even got the bathroom signs,
Yeah.
man. That's what's up, dude. Oh man.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think it's really thought through. There's a lot here. Definitely a big project, and I would say it's success for sure. So
Awesome.
really clean
Wow.
work overall. Good job.
Yeah.
I think my only feedback would be like you have this logo really large here, and then you have it large again, then you have it large again, then you have it large again. So I think maybe breaking that up a little bit in some way, but other than that, it's amazing for sure. Okay, and just another one of his projects. So let's go through this one. So ultra premium CBD oil. So it looks like he did the packaging for that.
Once again,
Yeah.
another smooth logo animation.
Yeah. Nice frames with a photo kind of meshing together. Really cool. Showing the old logo and the new.
Okay, so more or less a kind of a
It's just more
refresh.
of a, yeah,
Yeah.
refreshing it.
I mean, I'd say you nailed the refresh. It's a lot
I
cleaner.
almost feel like there's something in here that I want to see, like, I don't know, like either letters or numbers or something. But
Infinity, there's
it's
all the
infinity, yeah.
numbers.
Yeah, David.
That's
We
true.
literally took every number and brought it to there.
That's
Oh,
cool though.
man. Cool little color
A lot of the
palette.
mock-ups. I mean, the mock-ups are really refined here.
The question is, are they mock-ups or are they actual product photography?
You know, they might be actual. You know,
'Cause,
I don't
like,
want to. Yeah.
I mean, look at that bag. I mean, maybe. Who knows?
No.
Well,
you're
but
right.
I feel
This
like
has to
this
be.
is also, you know, whether or not it's real, this is the type of thing that when you present it this way to where
Yeah.
we're all like analyzing it, trying to see if we can recognize, like, let's run it through that Adobe algorithm that finds the changed pixels. This is what makes a project feel real. And that's where, you know, if I could encourage young designers on your portfolios, like cough up a little bit of money and I don't know, skip some coffee, don't go to the movies, put aside $100 or something and buy some really premium mock-ups from, you know, Creative Market or Envato or something. Less like this, like that one, that looks really cheesy, but you can find ones that are like super dialed in, and it really makes your work feel so much different, and makes a big difference.
Yeah. All right. Well, good job, Kay, John. It was really, really good work. So keep it up. Definitely awesome stuff.
Yeah.
Kajan said those were real photos, by the way.
Okay.
Nice, Cajun.
Yeah.
Dude.
Nice.
It's
That's
so
awesome.
cool being able to see
Yeah.
like the brand. Like, okay, here it is. Like the branding worked. They liked it, and here it is in reality. That's
Yep.
super nice. I love that, man.
Did we look at this guy already? He was on the top of the.
I don't think so.
All right. Okay, so looking at this one, were there any other ones in the chat? I guess we can address those afterwards.
No, I know a couple people have asked us if you can please link your portfolio. And then I'll do a quick check, Dave. I just want to make sure everything's appropriate because I've pre-checked everything else. But
Yep.
I think Kassar just posted his. It looks good. Really clean stuff, actually. Let's pull that up. Evan, we might want to pull some stuff for some Adobe Challenge things we're working on from this one. I see some nice stuff.
Well, since I have this one up, let's quickly go through
Yeah.
this one. Yeah, this one looks good. I think overall very like cohesive kind of work happening here. You got a mix of illustrations, a lot of mock-ups, a lot of mobile screens. Overall, feels good. I think about here feels starting to feel dated. So I think this is probably older work down here. So I would probably clean that up a little bit and just keep pushing out more work, just so there will be more things happening. But yeah, we can open one up, kind of look at it. Really cool illustration. If you did that, awesome work.
Yeah.
Yeah, really drags your eye towards it. Yeah, I mean, it feels good overall. I'd have to see like the actual pixels, but overall feels good. Yeah, another really cool illustration. And yeah, I feel like the colors and like everything feels right. So there's not much to critique here. I feel like this illustration is different from this one and that one down
Yeah.
here.
Yeah,
So there's
that's
a lot
one
of
thing I
like
noticed.
clashing happening, but
Mhm.
I'm not sure because yeah, maybe they're pulled in from different places. I'm not sure or created
Yeah.
by different people, but one thing I noticed.
Yeah, same here.
This one looks really good. I
Yeah.
feel like I've seen this something similar, but this is awesome. Like this is I love this style here. Just very
Mhm.
clean, minimal.
Able to like really make those, I guess, just one color pop, like just that
Yeah.
red, different
Yep.
different hue, different shades of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
Yeah,
it's
it's
really
beautiful.
I like it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Awesome.
Cool. All right. Well, yeah, let's hop on to the next one.
Yeah, would you pull up Kassar's? I think we might be wrapping up in about 5 minutes, but we've got time to go over that.
KAWSAR.
I don't know if it's in there. He posted it in the YouTube chat, and I posted
Oh,
it in
did
the
he?
Unfold Slack.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
Okay, let me grab it.
Unfold.
All right. Here it is.
Right.
So crafting beauty and simplicity. All right. I definitely see beauty and simplicity. So very minimal work,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
clean,
that's
very polished. And it ends here. So let's see how old this one is. All right. So about half a year old, a little more. Yeah, these are very nice, very refined.
I love those buttons, like the search button and the
Yeah.
the edit one. Kind of
I
has
just want to
maybe
search it. I just want to tap it. So
has a little bit of a neumorphic feel.
yeah, a little
Here.
bit. Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, has
It
like
does.
that
Yep.
nice little that top highlight and that
Well, I
bottom
think
shadow.
this
But
is done. This is
yeah.
it's done right, you know. And I
Yeah,
honestly here all you see is not really. You kind of see this like shadow, you know, with the pink shadows
Yeah.
here.
I was just trying to trigger Peter real quick, but
I like this type of shadow style. I'm not into the
Yeah.
whole like neomorphic stuff, but I like the really subtle, like the way
Yeah, this one's more subtle. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I
that
was gonna say,
orange
super
glow
subtle.
and the purple under the graphic, like that's how you do shadows right.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is beautiful. I mean, you know, it kind of goes back to like good design isn't about adding something, but what can you remove, right? Like kind of narrowing it down to what can you take away until it's done. You know, that's it's easy to add stuff, but what can you remove and still make it beautiful and functional?
Yeah.
And I feel like these are really good examples of that. You know, it's just so minimal, but it's so beautiful and clean.
Yeah. And for anyone that's looking to like ramp up their portfolios, um, uh, two things. One is I think movies and music and TV shows are always great case studies. I don't know why I can't speak to do because there's wonderful artwork that can be done with it. There's a lot of just simplicity in the design. I know Evan and I are working on the course outline for the Adobe Daily Creative Challenge for Adobe XD from the week of May 25th. And like one of the days, the challenges that we're creating is a music player and a library just like that. And it's one of those like repeatable things that you can always design and update, do podcasts, do shows, movies, whatever. There's so much great artwork to make your work look really good. And like you could see in those graphics, they're really interesting. The colors really pop out. It's so much more engaging and like exciting than looking at a plain blog or something like that. Like this, I'm in it. I love that artwork with the girl up there. Like
Yep.
it's just great.
Yep. Good work. Sure.
It's and your little dribble title thing that you said, simple, crafting beauty and simplicity, and you know, there I see the simplicity. It's beautiful. It's simple. It's clean.
Yeah. And
I think in the chat, Rashid asked. I don't know if we have his or not.
I thought we've done Rashid's before, but let's take a peek at it. David,
Definitely.
if I think it's in there, if you search for it, it's RACHID. I'm 99% sure we've already done his, but ID. CHID. If not, let me pull it up. But normally I'm not seeing your link in chat. If you can post it again for us, we'll do those two, and then we'll call it a day.
Looks like normally I put my link in chat as well.
Yeah,
For some
I
reason,
looked up. I
can't
can't see it.
Yeah, I can't see the links in chat for some
Yeah, just
reason.
repost it. We'll get to it real quick. All right. Do we want to review maybe a few more here while we're waiting?
No, let's give us a second to knock these out, because otherwise we'll get stuck in a loop. Although I think, is it Rainis Berkevics? Is that normally? I might have found it
Wait,
in
are you sure? Are you
the
sure
records.
the YouTube chat they're allowed to post links?
I don't know.
Well,
I think it might be Rainis. Are you from Latvia? And you've got a picture of the Joker
I mean,
in
he's
one
Rainis.
of them.
Normally is Rainis
Yep.
Burkevics.
Okay, here I'm putting it in the YouTube channel for us.
Okay.
And then
Yeah,
I'm looking for Rashid.
I'm looking at Jacob's work here.
Jacob
Henson.
Oh, dude,
I mean,
his is
awesome.
solid. I was looking at that before.
This is beautiful. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff happening here.
Goodness.
I mean, every piece of every shot is like a piece of art here. So
Yeah.
great work, Jacob.
Jacob. Wow.
A+.
Holy.
Really good use of the grid.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
great
cool. Showing
style.
that little blurry eye chart.
Yep.
But again, here too, like there's such range. You've got a
Yeah,
lot
yeah.
of stuff.
Yep. There's a lot of stuff happening. Different. I love the colors. They all work great.
Yeah. Yeah, your color selections are excellent. Reminds me, my buddy Brian Hurst. I remember working with him, and I was always like, dude, I love the colors that you utilize in your design. And it was just funny because I found out later he was colorblind. So he was always just kind of like guessing that what he did worked well.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so I
good
posted
stuff.
two.
So now-
Yeah, I posted the two. I found Rashid and Rainis in the HubSpot forum, so we should be good.
Yeah.
Where can I access it?
Unfold Slack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why. We saw Kassar's, but we didn't see the other ones.
Oh, YouTube channel.
Yeah, so let me see if that's
I
a
think
setting I
YouTube
can
doesn't allow you to
change.
post links in the live chat.
All right,
for
so this is
spam
it.
reasons.
Yep, this is the one.
right,
Is that
this is
Rhaenys? Is that how you pronounce it? Rhaenys?
Yeah. And see again
Right.
the Joker one, like that's where movies and TV shows always look good.
Yeah. Yeah, because without the image, it would be you wouldn't see a lot here.
Right. But it's
It looks
simple,
really
but
nice.
you look at this and you just go like, yeah, of course. This is great.
Yep. I mean, one like my UX brain kind of jumps in and says, "Well, how would this
Sure.
work if you build it out? Would you need a wide artwork for every movie? Or does it zoom in and crop at a certain point?
Yeah.
yeah.
So those kind of things get a little tricky, but it's a very cool presentation and mock-up for sure. All right, let's go back. See some more of your work. Yeah, I guess off the bat, I would add more work, Radies.
Okay, yeah.
I feel like there's not a whole lot here, but it does give me a general idea of your work style.
Mhm.
This one jumps out to me, I think, the most.
Yeah, those two middle
This-
projects feel really strong, and then the rest kind of fall off a little bit.
Yeah, this is
Exactly what we were saying earlier, to like make these like web page, like these landing page shots look more interesting, just throwing those elements,
great. Yeah,
you know,
like
like
these squares.
just
Yep.
kind of make everything like it's real. It's such a subtle touch, but it just
I mean,
makes the
you
overall
can
presentation.
and you can even take it a step further and take
Mhm.
one or two of these cards out and just pop them out of the screen or something, or this whole thing, and that way it can like give a little more depth to the whole
On a
thing.
little side note, I love those mountain masks for the
Mhm.
picture,
Yeah.
the mountain
Yep.
range mask, and also for the footer as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's just like such a nice little creative touch.
I feel like we don't see that as much anymore. Everything these days is like
Yeah.
we've been trying to talk clients out of doing illustrations. I feel like at this point we're like we've just let us do something else or a different style of illustration or get back to photos.
Yep.
It's really nice.
sure.
I like it, man.
Yeah.
Those days will be back where only photography will be trending.
I had somebody ask the other day, could you guys make a website with photos? And I was like, dear Lord.
It's not allowed anymore.
All right. And
right,
Rashid, we got your link, so we'll pull you up
yeah.
next. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
I feel like this one isn't working for me. Presentation is okay, but I feel like the design just feels a little static. Maybe kind of moving this, making bigger, maybe lower. This two feels like it's getting lost. Feels a little messy here.
Yeah.
So maybe rethinking that a little bit.
Yeah, I think one thing too is I feel like there's plenty of margin or padding on the left and
Yeah.
right side. If they could bring that in quite a bit, and it would help kill some of that white space. And then
Mm,
I think the other thing is like within each section, they seem very like balanced in a bad way, meaning like there just isn't as much hierarchy between within each section. Like that, even on the hero, like the
Yeah.
text and the image are about the same size. They get about the same amount of attention. I think playing with
Mhm.
scale and trying to play with some of those things could help too.
Yeah, and I think seeing it like in a bigger format would
We
be
said
helpful.
there's a little bit more in Behance. We can check that out.
Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah, let's quickly scroll through here. Yeah, this is nice. I like this. This is feeling better. The actual app once you log in.
Yeah, I
I
feel
think
like
this
the app
actually
design
looks
is
really
stronger than the
beautiful.
web.
Yeah, I agree. The app design is beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, I think overall it's great. I think especially here, I feel like I'm wondering why. Are we not, is there that green there?
I feel like it's just lacking a little bit of something. Like if I had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd say the website's like a 7. Like there's
Yeah.
nothing that jumps out that wowed me. There's nothing that I go is like it's bad by any
Yeah.
means, but it almost feels a little bit more like if you just bought a theme off Theme Forest or something.
Yeah.
I think it's lacking that feel of a really custom
Alignment, yeah.
website. Whereas when we looked at the product, it was like, oh wow, okay, this looks really dialed. I like can glance at it and I kind of immediately got what it was doing.
Yeah. And I'm
It
really liking that green on the blue, which isn't being used on the website. So I think that makes it feel pretty fresh, like with the white and the green and the blue
Mhm.
together. That really helps it pop a little bit more.
yeah.
Yeah, overall though, it's good. Good work. Good overall portfolio. Just add a little more to your
Yeah.
portfolio and just keep it going. We're on
Yeah.
the right track.
Keep it up.
Well, let's pull up Rashid's link, and then we'll call it for today.
All right. Did you post it somewhere?
It is.
In
It's
the
it's
YouTube
underneath.
Slack.
Yeah.
How am I not seeing it? Oh, okay. It's right under
YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. All right.
Okay.
Cool. So logo and brand identity designer. So Rashid focuses on logos and brands. So I'll just go down your page real quick. Just get a general idea. Okay. Okay, so off the bat, I feel like there's a lot going on in every shot, and not in a good way. I feel like it's a little bit messy in some of these shots, and some of them just feel like they're too big scaled wise. So like even this one, like I would make that a little bit smaller, just to because I feel like it's crowded in that box. It's just like trying to breathe. Same with this, like it just feels a little crowded here. And I think like these elements, they're not being cut like cropped off the page on the shot, so it just feels like it's not scattered like random, you know. So it feels like it's placed like on a grid, but it's meant to be random. So for me, like this shot's beautiful because it's got like good padding, good breathing room. Although contrast is low on here, but I think in this case, I think it works just to kind of get an idea. Here, I feel like it's not fully working because you got these hard shadows. So I would like lighten those up, blur them out some more. And the grays feel like they could work together, but there's like these darks, then there's these mid darks grays, and then the light gray.
More
Something about it
consistency with that.
feels,
Yeah.
yeah, something about it feels like.
think
I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad. Don't get me wrong here. It just needs a little bit of refinement.
No, again, we're nitpicking like that 5 to 10%. This is good
Yeah.
work, but there was something you said that stood out to me, and it didn't register when I glanced at this earlier in the day. But this whole page, when I'm looking at it as a whole, like each shot individually is fine. When I look at it as a whole, it feels like messy and chaotic because, like, look at this. There's how many arrows and patterns and elements on everything. None of these shots are really all that simple. And even like this one here in the top right, you've then got this super busy pattern on the right hand side. So when I come here, I feel a little bit overwhelmed, so maybe thinking about that in your presentation as you look at your portfolio or your Dribble page as a whole, this might be less relevant on a personal website, but like keeping this a little bit, I don't know, calmer is maybe the wrong way to say it, but it's almost overwhelming, and maybe
Yeah.
just simplifying things a little.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's look at a few more here.
Hey, unfold logo.
Yeah.
Like this one's pretty clean too. Like I feel
Yeah.
like this is a good example of, you know, you don't want to overwhelm people, you know, with showing everything. Because I think another thing you could try is like, and I noticed you've done it here, like you're kind of breaking it out into separate shots. And I think that's awesome. You know, seeing it like instead of seeing like a whole bunch of stuff at once. Like to me, I like this one a lot too because it shows like a mock-up, and it kind of has this. It feels more relaxing to look at versus something that's more digital and kind of harsh on the eyes, like these
Yeah.
three here.
Yeah, like the bag mock-up down on the bottom, like that one's nice and clean. And I think
Mm-hmm.
it's just that then when you go above, there's something that's super busy and kind of scattered, and then to the side. But this alone is really nice. So it's just
Hey,
thinking of it holistically.
Dave, you want to click on that bag again really quick?
Yeah.
And then click on the attached shots.
Yep. Yeah.
What's
So there's a
one
binder.
next to that? Yeah. Because I feel like stuff like this like helps break up like the all like vector shots. Like if you bring in some more of those real elements, like so these are really
Mhm.
nice.
Yeah.
Mhm. I agree.
But same
I
thing,
like
maybe
this. I like this a
scaling
lot.
them down. Like even
Yeah.
then they take up like the whole frame. So just bringing that back in a little bit, like stuff like this UI, it doesn't need to take up the whole thing, or it's just kind of dark and hits you. Um, yeah.
And
Yeah,
it's
maybe I
it's
can
always yeah,
bring
it's
some
always a
examples.
hard thing to try and find like balance, you know. It's something that you have to like practice and
Yep.
uh
Yeah, because there's like even on our portfolio, we have shots where
yeah.
there's a lot going on, right? So we
Mm.
do have. I'm not saying that's not. Don't ever do that, but I'm
Yeah.
saying like
Kind of
just
unavoidable.
have a good amount of padding and spacing where it doesn't feel crowded. Like I mentioned here, this feels good because it's breathing really
Yeah,
nicely
and
compared
it
to
breaks up the yeah.
yeah. But yeah, overall, I think it's good work. Overall, you know, you're on the right track.
Mm.
Just keep pushing out work, keep trying
Yeah.
things, and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, you
awesome.
got some
It's
nice
great.
logos there.
Yeah.
I would
It's really
also
great
say
stuff, man.
break up your shots more. Like I personally don't really understand the whole slide thing with dribble because yeah, the point is to post work. So I feel like you're posting things that are likely to not be seen. So it'd be cool to like, where you had the pen and like the feather shot with the mock up of the cards, like have that just be its own shot and don't tuck it away under something else that isn't going to get seen. So part of it these days with dribble is playing the algorithm and just posting often. So break them out. Don't combine like five shots into one. And you can simplify it like these Macan co-working spaces. Again, just in that presentation, there's too many like use cases or variations in that example. Just post one at a time and walk us through the different ones. Maybe it's the logo and its individual mark, but here seeing like four things with the pink on the right side, all the elements on the left, the logos are kind of already a little busy and colorful. Like it's just too much in that
Yeah.
aspect. But yeah, overall, I felt like we saw really good work today. I mean, we're nitpicking critique to try to give you something to everybody to help. I
Yeah,
don't feel like we
yeah.
tore anybody up. It was just do these couple of things and it takes in an extra 10%.
Yeah, there's been some really great stuff. But yeah, overall, man, keep it up, Rashid. Keep working at it. You're doing a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, some awesome stuff today.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, I think we'll wrap it up there. I'm gonna stop your screen share, David, and we'll just say goodbye as a team. Thank you guys for tuning in this week. I know we went live every week this month. We might mix it up. I think Victor and I are going to work on some more video uploads to YouTube next month and get back on track with that stuff. But I hope you all have a safe and healthy weekend. Um, you know, find a new craft, design something new this weekend, but stay indoors, stay safe. And if you guys need anything, tag us online on like Twitter or something, and I'll be happy to reach out and continue the conversation. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel. We're going to be putting out some new interviews soon that we did for the Design Hour, and excited to keep in touch with you all soon. Have a good weekend, everybody.
See you, everybody.
All right.
Bye,
Yep.
guys.
Thanks, guys. See ya.